Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read 2 Samuel 10 to 14, Psalm 114, and Proverbs 26. Let's get started. 2 Samuel 10 to 14. The king of Ammon died. His son Hanun became the next king after him. David thought, I'm going to be kind to Hanun. His father Nahash was kind to me. So David sent messengers to Hanun. He wanted them to tell Hanun how sad he was that Hanun's father had died. David's messengers went to the land of Ammon. The Ammonite commanders spoke to their master Hanun. They said, David has sent messengers to tell you he is sad. They say he wants you to honor your father. But the real reason they've come is to look to the city over. They want to destroy it. So Hanun grabbed David's messengers. He shaved off half of each man's beard. He cut their clothes off just below the waist and left them half naked. Then he sent them away. David was told about it, so he sent messengers to his men because they were filled with shame. King David said to them, Stay at Jericho until your beards grow out again. Then come back here. The Ammonites realized what they had done made David very angry with them. So they hired 20,000 Aramean soldiers who were on foot. The soldiers came from Beth Rehob and Zobah. The Ammonites also hired the king of Maacah and 1,000 men. And they hired 12,000 men from Tob. David heard about it. So he sent Joab out with the entire army of Israel's fighting men. The Ammonites marched out. They took up their power positions at the entrance of their city gate. The Arameans of Zobah and Rehob gathered their troops together in the open country. So did the men of Tob and Maacah. Joab saw that there were lines of soldiers in front of him and behind him. So he chose some of the best troops in Israel. He sent them to march it out against the Arameans. He put the rest of the men under the command of his brother Abishai. Joab sent them to march out against the Ammonites. He said, Suppose the Arameans are too strong for me. Then you must come and help me. But suppose the Ammonites are too strong for you. Then I'll come and help you. Be strong. Let's be brave as we fight for our people and the cities of our God. The Lord will do what he thinks is best. Then Joab and the troops with him marched out to attack the Arameans. They ran away from him. The Ammonites realized that the Arameans were running away. So they ran away from Abishai. They went inside the city. After Joab had fought against the Ammonites, he went back to Jerusalem. The Arameans saw that they had been driven away by Israel. So they brought their troops together. Hadadezer had some Arameans brought from east of the Euphrates River. They went to Helam under the command of Shobak. He was the commander of Hadadezer's army. David was told about it. So he gathered the whole army of Israel together. They went across the Jordan River to Helam. The Arameans lined up their soldiers to go to war against David. They began to fight against him, but then they ran away from Israel. David killed 700 of their chariot riders. He killed 40,000 of their soldiers who were on foot. He also struck down Shobak, the commander of their army. Shobak died there. All the kings who were under the rule of Hadadezer saw that Israel had won the battle over them. So they made a peace treaty with the Israelites. They were brought under Israel's rule. After that, the Arameans were afraid to help the Ammonites anymore. It was spring. It was the time when kings go off to war. So David sent Joab out with the king's special troops and the whole army of Israel. They destroyed the Ammonites. They marched to the city of Rabbah. They surrounded it and got ready to attack it. But David remained in Jerusalem. One evening, David got up from his bed. He walked around on the roof of his palace. From the roof he saw a woman taking a bath. She was very beautiful. David sent a messenger to find out who she was. The messenger returned and said, She is Bathsheba. She is the daughter of Eliam. She is the wife of Uriah. He's a Hittite. Then David sent messengers to get her. She came to him, and he slept with her. Then she went back home. All of that took place after she had already made herself clean from her monthly period. Later, Bathsheba found out she was pregnant. She sent a message to David. She said, "I'm pregnant." So David sent a message to Joab. David said, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." Joab sent him to David. Uriah came to David. David asked him how Joab and the soldiers were doing. He also asked him how the war was going. David said to Uriah, "Go home and enjoy some time with your wife." So Uriah left the palace. Then the king sent him a gift. But Uriah didn't go home. Instead, he slept at the entrance to the palace. He stayed there with all his master's servants. David was told, Uriah didn't go home. So he sent for Uriah. David said to him, "You've been away for a long time. Why didn't you go home?" Uriah said to David, "The ark and the army of Israel and Judah are out there in tents. My commander Joab and his special troops are camped in the open country. How could I go to my house to eat and drink? How could I go there and sleep with my wife? I can never do a thing like that. And that's just as sure as you are alive." Then David said to him, "Stay here one more day. Tomorrow I'll send you back to the battle." So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next. David invited Uriah to eat and drink with him. David got him drunk, but Uriah still didn't go home. In the evening he went out and slept on his mat. He stayed there among his master's servants. The next morning David wrote a letter to Joab. He sent it along with Uriah. In it he wrote, "Put Uriah out in front. That's where the fighting is the heaviest. Then pull your men back from him. When you do, the Ammonites will strike him down and kill him." So Joab attacked the city. He put Uriah at a place where he knew the strongest enemies fight as well. The troops came out of the city. They fought against Joab. Some of the men in David's army were killed. Uriah the Hittite also died. Joab sent David a full report of the battle. He told the messenger, "Tell the king everything that happened in the battle. When you are finished, his anger might explode. He might ask you, 'Why did he go so close to the city to fight against him? Didn't you know that the enemy soldiers would shoot arrows down from the wall? Don't you remember how Abimelech, the son of Jerubesheth, was killed? A woman dropped a large millstone on him from the wall. That's how he died in Thebez. So why did you go so close to the wall? If the king asks you that, tell him, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead." The messenger started out for Jerusalem. When he started there, he told David everything Joab had sent him to say. The messenger said to David, "The men in the city were more powerful than we were. They came out to fight against us in the open, but we drove them back to the entrance of the city gate. Then those who were armed with bows shot arrows at us from the wall. Some of your special troops were killed. Your servant Uriah the Hittite is also dead." David told the messenger, "Tell Joab, don't get upset about what happened. Someone's killed one person as well as another. So keep on attacking the city. Destroy it. Tell that to Joab. It will cheer him up." Uriah's wife heard that her husband was dead. She mourned over him. When the time of sadness was over, David had her brought to his house. She became his wife, and she had a son by him. The Lord wasn't pleased with what David had done. Chapter 12. The Lord sent the prophet Nathan to David. When Nathan came to him, he said, "Two men lived in the same town. One was rich, the other was poor. The rich man had a very large number of sheep and cattle. but all the poor man had was one little female lamb. He had bought it. He raised it. It grew up with him and his children. It shared his food. It drank from his cup. It even slept in his arms. It was just like a daughter to him. One day a traveler came to the rich man. The rich man wanted to prepare a meal for him, but he didn't want to kill one of his own sheep or cow. Instead, he took the little female lamb that belonged to the poor man. Then the rich man cooked it for the traveler who had come to him. David was very angry with the rich man. He said to Nathan, "The man who did this must die, and that's just as sure as the Lord is alive. The man must pay back 4 times as much as the lamb is worth." How could he do such a thing? And he wasn't even sorry he had done it. Then Nathan said to David, "You are the man." The Lord, the God of Israel, said, "I anointed you king over Israel. I saved you from Saul. I gave you everything that belonged to your master Saul. I even put his wives into your arms. I made you king over all the people of Israel and Judah. And if all that had not been enough for you, I would have given you even more. Why did you turn your back on what I told you to do? You did what is evil in my sight. You made sure that Uriah the Hittite would be killed in battle. You took his wife to be your own. You let the men of Ammon kill him with their swords. So time after time, members of your own royal house will be killed with swords. That's because you turned your back on me. You took the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your own. The Lord also says, I am going to bring trouble on you. It will come from your own family. I'll take your wives away. Your own eyes will see it. I'll give your wives to a man who is close to you. He'll sleep with them in the middle of the day. You committed your sins in secret, but I'll make sure that the man commits a sin in the middle of the day. Everyone in Israel will see it. Then David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. Nathan replied, the Lord has taken away your sin. You aren't going to die, but you have dared to show great disrespect for the Lord. So the son who has been born to you will die. Then the Lord made David's child very sick. That was the child David had by Uriah's wife. David begged God to heal the child. David didn't eat anything. He spent his nights lying on the ground. He put on the rough clothes people wear when they're sad. His most trusted servants stood up beside him. They wanted him to get up from the ground, but he refused to do it, and he wouldn't eat any food with them. On the 7th day, the child died. David's attendants were afraid to tell him the child was dead. They thought, while the child was still alive, we spoke to David, but he wouldn't listen to us. So how can we now tell him the child is dead? He might do something terrible to himself. David saw that his attendants were whispering to one another. Then he realized the child was dead. Has the child died? He asked. Yes, they replied. He's dead. Then David got up from the ground. After he washed himself, he put on lotions. He changed his clothes. He went into the house of the Lord and worshipped him. Then he went to his own house. He asked for some food. They served it to him, and he ate it. His attendants asked him, why are you acting like this? While the child was still alive, you wouldn't eat anything. You cried a lot. But now that the child is dead, you get up and eat. He answered, while the child was still alive, I didn't eat anything. And I cried a lot. I thought, Who knows? The Lord might have mercy on me. He might let the child live. But now he's dead. So why should I continue to go without food? Can I bring him to life again? Someday I'll go to him, but he won't return to me. Then David comforted his wife Bathsheba. He went to her and slept with her. Sometime later she had a son. He was given the name Solomon. The Lord loved him. So the Lord sent a message through Nathan the prophet. The Lord said, "Name the boy Jedidiah." During that time, Joab fought against Rabbah. It was the royal city of the Ammonites. It had high walls around it. Joab was about to capture it. He sent messengers to David. He told them to say, "I have fought against Rabbah. I've taken control of its water supply. So bring the rest of the troops together. Surround the city and get ready to attack it. Then capture it. If you don't, I'll capture it myself. Then it will be named after me." So David brought together the whole army and went to Rabbah. He attacked it and captured it. David took the gold crown off the head of the king of Ammon. Then the crown was placed on David's head. The crown weighed 75 pounds. It had jewels in it. David took a huge amount of goods from the city. He brought out the people who were there. He made them work with swords and iron picks and axes. He forced them to make bricks. David did that to all the towns in Ammon. Then he and his entire army returned to Jerusalem. Chapter 13. Sometime later, David's son Amnon fell in love with Tamar. She was the beautiful sister of Absalom. He was another one of David's sons. Ammon wanted his sister Tamar so much that it made him sick. She was a virgin, and it seemed impossible for him to do what he wanted with her. Ammon had an advisor named Jonadab. He was the son of David's brother Shimei. Jonadab was a very clever man. He asked Ammon, "You're the king's son, aren't you? So why do you look so worn out every morning? Won't you tell me?" Ammon answered, "I'm in love with Tamar. She's the sister of my brother Absalom." "Go to bed," Jonadab said. "Pretend to be sick. Your father will come to see you. When he does, tell him, I would like my sister Tamar to come and give me something to eat. Let her prepare the food right here in front of me where I can watch her. Then she can feed it to me." So Ammon went to bed. He pretended to be sick. The king came to see him. Ammon said to him, "I would like my sister Tamar to come here. I want to watch her make some special bread. Then she can feed it to me." David sent a message to Tamar at the palace. He said, "Go to your brother Ammon's house. Prepare some food for him." So Tamar went to the house of her brother Ammon. He was lying in bed. She got some dough and mixed it. She shaped the bread right there in front of him, and she baked it. Then she took the bread out of the pan and served it to him, but he refused to eat. "Send everyone out of here," Ammon said. So everyone left him. Then he said to Tamar, "Bring the food here into my bedroom. Please feed it to me." So Tamar picked up the bread she had prepared. She brought it to her brother Ammon in his bedroom. She took it to him so he could eat it. But he grabbed her. He said, "My sister, come to bed with me." "No, my brother," she said to him. "Don't force me. An evil thing like that should never be done in Israel. Don't do it. What about me? How could I ever get rid of my shame? And what about you? You would be as foolish as any evil person in Israel. Please speak to the king. He will keep me from marrying you." But Ammon But Ammon refused to listen to her. He was stronger than she was, so he raped her. Then Ammon hated Tamar very much. In fact, he hated her more than he had loved her before. He said to her, "Get up, get up, get out." "No," she said to him, "don't send me away. That'd be worse than what you have already done to me." But he refused to listen to her. He sent for his personal servant. He said, "Get this woman out of my sight. Lock the door behind her." So his servant threw her out. Then he locked the door behind her. Tamar was wearing a beautiful robe. It was the kind of robe the virgin daughters of the king wore. She put ashes on her head. She tore the beautiful robe she was wearing. She put her hands on her head and went away. She was weeping out loud as she went. When her brother Absalom saw her, he spoke to her. He said, "Has Ammon, that brother of yours, forced you to go to bed with him?" "My sister, don't let it upset you. Don't let it bother you. He is your brother." After that, Tamar lived in her brother Absalom's house. She was very lonely. King David heard about everything that had happened, and so he became very angry. And Absalom never said a word of any kind to Ammon. He hated Ammon because he had brought shame on his sister Tamar. 2 years later, Absalom invited all the king's sons to come to Baal Hazor. It was near the border of Ephraim. The workers who clipped the wool of Absalom's sheep were there. Absalom went to the king. He said, I've had my workers come to clip the wool. Will you and your attendants please join me?" "No, my son," the king replied. "All of us should go. It would be too much trouble for you." Although Absalom begged him, the king still refused to go. But he gave Absalom his blessing. Then Absalom said, "If you won't come, please let my brother Ammon come with us." The king answered him, "Why should he go with you?" But Absalom begged him. So the king sent Ammon with him. He also sent the rest of his sons. Absalom ordered his men, "Listen, when Ammon has had too much wine to drink, I'll say to you, 'Strike Ammon down.' When I do, kill him. Don't be afraid. I've given you an order, haven't I? Be strong and brave." So Absalom's men killed Ammon, just as Absalom had ordered. Then all the king's sons got on their mules and rode away. While they were on their way, a report came to David. It said, "Absalom has struck down all your sons. Not one of them is left alive." The king stood up and tore his clothes. Then he lay down on the ground. All his attendants stood near him. They had also torn their clothes. Jonadab, the son of David's brother Shimei, spoke up. He said, "You shouldn't think that all the princes have been killed. The only one who is dead is Ammon. Absalom had planned to kill him ever since the day Ammon raped his sister Tamar. You are my king and master. You shouldn't be concerned about this report. It's not true that all your sons are dead. The only one who is dead is Ammon." While all of that was taking place, Absalom ran away. The men on guard duty at Jerusalem looked up. He saw many people coming on the road west of him. They were coming down the side of the hill. He went and spoke to the king. He said, "I see men coming down the road from Horonaim. They are coming down the side of the hill." Jonadab said to the king, "See, your sons are coming." It has happened just as I said it would. As he finished speaking, the king's sons came in. They were weeping out loud. The king and all his attendants were also weeping very bitterly. Then Absalom ran away. He went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud. Talmai was the king of Geshur. King David mourned many days for his son Ammon. So Absalom ran away and went to Geshur. He stayed there for 3 years. After some time, the king got over his sorrow because of Ammon's death. Then King David longed to go to Absalom. Chapter 14. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, knew that the king longed to see Absalom. So Joab sent someone to Tekoa to have a wise woman brought back to her there. Joab said to her, "Pretend you are filled with sadness. Put on the rough clothing people wear when they're sad. Don't use any makeup. Act like a woman who has spent many days mourning for someone who has died. Then go to the king. Give him the message I'm about to give you." And Joab told her what to say. The woman from Tekoa went to the king. She bowed down with her face toward the ground. She did it to show him respect. She said, "Your Majesty, please help me." The king asked her, "What's bothering you?" She said, "I'm a widow. My husband is dead. I had 2 sons. They got into a fight with each other in a field. No one was there to separate them. One of my sons struck down the other one and killed him. Now my whole family group has risen up against me. They say, 'Hand over the one who struck down his brother. Then we can put him to death for killing his brother. They'll also get rid of the one who will receive the family property. They want to kill the only living son I have left, just as someone would put out a burning coal. They would leave my husband without any son on the face of the earth to carry on the family name.' The king said to the woman, 'Go home. I'll give an order to make sure you are taken care of.' But the woman from Tekoa said to him, 'You are my king and master. Please pardon me and my family. You and your royal family won't be guilty of doing anything wrong.' The king replied, 'If people give you any trouble, bring them to me. They won't bother you again.' She said, 'Please pray to the Lord your God. Pray that he will keep our nearest male relative from killing my other son. Then my son won't be destroyed.' 'You can be sure that the Lord lives,' the king said, 'and you can be just as sure that not one hair of your son's head will fall to the ground.' Then the woman said, 'King David, please let me say something else to you.' 'Go ahead,' he replied. So the woman said, 'You are the king. So why have you done something that brings so much harm on God's people? When you do that, you hand down a sentence against yourself. You won't let the son you drove away come back. All of us must die. We are like water spilled on the ground. It can't be put back into the jar. But that is not what God decides. Instead, he finds a way to bring back anyone who was driven away from him. King David, I've come here to say this to you now. I've done it because people have made me afraid. I thought, I'll go and speak to the king. Perhaps he'll do what I'm asking. The man is trying to separate me and my son from the property God gave us. Perhaps the king will agree to save me from that man. So now I'm saying, may what you have told me prevent that man from doing what he wants. You are like an angel of God. You know what is good and what is evil. May the Lord your God be with you.' Then the king said to the woman, 'I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to tell the truth. Please ask me anything you want to.' The king asked, 'Joab told you to say all of this, didn't he?' The woman answered, 'What you have told me is exactly right, and that's just as sure as you are alive. It's true that Joab directed me to do this. He told me everything he wanted me to say. He did it to change the way things now are. He was as wise as an angel of God. You know everything that happened in the land.' The leader of the king said to Joab, 'All right, we'll do what you want. Go, bring back the young man Absalom.' Joab bowed down with his face toward the ground. He did it to honor the king, and he asked God to bless the king. He said, 'You are my king and master. Today I know that you are pleased with me. You have given me what I asked for.' Then Joab went to Geshur. He brought Absalom back to Jerusalem. But the king said, He must go to his own house. I don't want him to come and see me. So Absalom went to his own house. He didn't go to see the king. In the whole land of Israel, there wasn't any man as handsome as Absalom was. That's why everyone praised him. From the top of his head to the bottom of his feet, he didn't have any flaws. He used to cut his hair once a year when it became too heavy for him. Then he would weigh it. It weighed 5 pounds in keeping with the standard weights used in the palace. 3 sons and a daughter were born to Absalom. His daughter's name was Tamar. She became a beautiful woman. Absalom lived in Jerusalem for 2 years without going to see the king. Then Absalom sent for Joab. He wanted to send Joab to the king. But Joab refused to come to Absalom. So Absalom sent for him a second time. But Joab still refused to come. Then Absalom said to his servants, Joab's field is next to mine. He is barley growing there. Go and set it on fire. So Absalom's servants set the field on fire. Joab finally went to Absalom's house. He said to Absalom, Absalom, why did your servants set my field on fire? Absalom said to Joab, I sent a message to you. I said, come here. I want to send you to the king. I want you to ask him for me. Why did you bring me back from Geshur? I'll be better off if I were still there. Now then, I want to go and see the king. If I'm guilty of doing anything wrong, let him put me to death. So Joab went to the king and told him that. Then the king sent for Absalom. He came and bowed down to the king with his face toward the ground. And the king kissed Absalom. Proverbs 26. It isn't proper to honor a foolish person. That's like having snow in summer or rain at harvest time. A curse given for no reason is like a wandering bird or a flying sparrow. It doesn't go anywhere. A whip is for a horse, and a harness is for a donkey, and a beating is for the backs of foolish people. Don't answer a foolish person in keeping with their foolish acts. If you do, you yourself will be just like them. Answer a foolish person in keeping with their foolish acts. If you do not, they will be wise in their own eyes. Sending a message in the hand of a foolish person is like cutting off your feet or drinking poison. A proverb in the mouth of a foolish person is like disabled legs that are useless. Giving honor to a foolish person is like tying a stone in a slingshot. A proverb in the mouth of a foolish person is like a thorn in the hand of someone who is drunk. Anyone who has a foolish person or someone who is passing by is like a person who shoots arrows at just anybody. Foolish people who do the same foolish things again are like a dog that returns to where it is thrown up. Do you see a person who is wise in their own eyes? There's more hope for a foolish person than for them. A person who doesn't want to work says, there's a lion in the road. There's an angry lion wandering in the streets. A person who doesn't want to work turns over in bed, just like a door that swings back and forth. A person who doesn't want to work leaves his hand in his plate. He acts as if he is too tired to bring his hand back up to his mouth. A person who doesn't want to work is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who give careful answers. Don't be quick to get mixed up in someone else's fight. That's like grabbing a stray dog by its ears. Suppose a crazy person shoots flaming arrows that can kill. Someone who lies to their neighbor and says, I was only joking, is just like that crazy person. If you don't have wood, your fire goes out. If you don't talk about others, arguing dies down. Coal glows and wood burns, and a person who argues stirs up conflict. The words of anyone who talks about others are like tasty bites of fruit. They go deep down inside you. Warm words that come from an evil heart are like shiny coating on a clay pot. Enemies use their words as a mask. They hide their evil plans in their hearts. Even though what they say can be charming, don't believe them. That's because 7 things God hates fill that person's heart. Their hatred can be hidden by lies, but their evil plans will be shown to everyone. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a big stone, it will roll back on them. A tongue that tells lies hates the people it hurts, and words that seem to praise you destroy. Psalm 114. The people of Israel came out of Egypt. The people of Jacob left a land where a different language was spoken. There Judah became the holy place where God lived. Israel became the land he ruled over. The Red Sea saw him and parted. The Jordan River stopped flowing. The mountains leaped like rams. The hills skipped like lambs. Red Sea, why did you part? Jordan River, why did you stop flowing? Why did you mountains leap like rams? Why did you hills skip like lambs? Earth, tremble with fear when the Lord comes. Tremble when the God of Jacob is near. He turned the rock into a pool. He turned the hard rock into springs of water. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.